True leaders understand that it takes a lot of effort to win back credibility once you have lost it. Coming up, it seems like the fight between Gayton McKenzie and EFF is not gonna end anytime soon. Lately, EFF has been making a lot of noise about Gayton McKenzie, accusing him of wasting taxpayers' money on his trip to Paris. So, without any evidence, again, EFF is claiming that Gayton McKenzie has splashed 1.8 million rand on his very same Olympic trip to Paris.
Thank you very much. My name is now Tambo, a member of Parliament representing the Economic Freedom Fighters. So today we have referred the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Gayton McKenzie, to the Ethics Committee for his misuse of taxpayers' money in his trip to the Olympic Games of 2024 in Paris, France, and also for lying about this trip in the public domain. Now, Gayton McKenzie has breached very specific provisions within the Ethics Code, which governs both members of Parliament and members of Executive. This includes conducting himself with integrity, ensuring that he maintains public trust in the Parliament of South Africa as a representative of the Parliament of South Africa, and of course ensuring that he doesn't misuse the resources of taxpayers in an irresponsible manner and for his own personal benefit to the benefit of those associated to him. The other important factor that we've reported to the ethics registrar of the committee is that he has also violated the ministerial handbook, which guides the conduct of members of the executive as well. So in addition to the ethics code, he's also violated the ministerial handbook, and he's violated it in the following ways: in that he did not conduct his expenditure with the necessary due consideration of the financial implications of it, in terms of the expenditure which was raised there, which amounts to about 800,000 rand, in terms of ensuring that he maintains only traveling with 2 members of his staff. Additionally, the ministerial handbook requires of a minister, when they're going to conduct international travel, to seek approval from the president, but also to liaise with the Minister of International Relations and that department to ensure that all necessary support is provided when they are traveling internationally. So we've also insisted that the Registrar of the Ethics Committee must inquire whether this assistance was sought from the Minister of International Relations to ensure that no wasteful expenditure occurred, but also we must ascertain, and we believe that it is true, that Ramaphosa did approve Gayton McKenzie's trip to France. And if he did he approve, in addition, the wasteful expenditure that he incurred, because that makes him also liable for those costs. We are going to ensure that we hold the GNU accountable and not allow ex-convicts to misuse state resources and undermine the taxpayers of this country. Thank you very much.
Well, I don't personally have any problem with that if that's exactly what Gayton McKenzie did. He should definitely be held responsible and accountable for such amount of money. But doesn't EFF think that it would have been better if they have brought evidence about this figure? That's where my problem is. No evidence.
So let me get the uncomfortable out of the way before I go into the good work that we've done. You know, I was in the news for spending money going to Paris. Past 2 days I had to answer being called a joyride. Now, I don't understand when there's a sporting event. I first got very angry because they were comparing me to, they said I removed Mama Joy and I replaced myself with her. So I got angry. But then I realized, being a government official, you must be transparent. You have taken on something that you can't get angry when people ask you about their money, because every cent that we are using is belonging to the people. Now, I was annoyed for 10 minutes, but when that realization came, I realized that I must answer, and I'm going to answer very transparently here. And if there's any media person that still feel that I've not adequately answered, please, I will remain behind so that you can go back to the newsroom having all your questions answered. Number one, my first trip as a minister, the first one as a minister, not as a person, as a minister, was to the Olympics. I came a week before the Olympics start. I attended 6 different meetings. I attended a meeting with the Minister of Azerbaijan. I attended a meeting with the African ministers. I've attended a meeting with the Commonwealth ministers. I've attended the opening ceremony. I've also attended a meeting standing in for the Minister of Police, where they had all the police there. So I had 6 meetings I had to attend. Now, before the opening ceremony, the rugby already started, for those that don't know. So I went to go and watch the 7th rugby. Then when the Olympics started, I sat in the rain so that our athletes also can have somebody screaming for them there. And then I realized, because I was so excited for this new job I want to learn, I'm going to come back. I'm probably the only minister in the world of sport that was not at the Olympics. Now, where do you get the joyriding from? So I want to make it very clear. I came back, not because I was forced to come back. There was nothing wrong me being there. Now he's going to sporting events. That's my job. Do you want me to go look at cabbages and the agriculture? That is the job of Mr. John Steiner, isn't to look at the farms. You can't, that's my job, to go to sporting events. Yeah. Especially the biggest showcasing of talent in the sporting world, which is the Olympics. I didn't go to the Paralympics, and that's not an achievement not to go. And I'm still going to go to all the sporting events, because that's government. Now you want to portray me as a person that's taking a joyride. That thing you can do with other ministers. You've chosen the wrong one. Because I'm flying first class all the time with my own money. And now I must fly business class. So it's not an upgrade for me, it's a downgrade. Locally, I fly like business class. But as a minister, you must fly economy class. The other day I was flying with my partner. And she said, can't we book you? Because my knees are so long. Because I can't sit down and then I must stand up so that I can. But that's what the ministerial handbook demands of me. It demands of me to fly business class, to fly economy class locally. I fly twice a week and I fly economy class. Internationally, the ministerial handbook demands of me to fly business and not first class. I'm mentioning this so that people can know I've not done anything outside the ministerial handbook. I got there, I saw them saying, Mr. McKenzie, welcome, welcome, jump in the car. Now it's being acted like I'm sitting behind a computer and go to the different airlines, which things, there are people that are hired for those. Now, if you want to play politics, it's fine, but don't play politics only with me. If I have to account, which I'm doing, we expect every minister to also account, because this is important to all of you. I've done absolutely nothing wrong. And I'm as transparent as possible. I went there. In fact, when I saw it's 125,000 rands for 5-star hotel, myself and the acting DG, we both said we can't do this. Isn't there a cheaper hotel? I flew, I stayed in a 4-star hotel, which was a bit cheaper because it was during the Olympics, all the prices were up. And you can't compare euros with rands. Our currency is not that strong. And now people want to act like, particularly in the DA, that it's my first time going overseas. 2007, I stayed for a month in Paris to watch the Rugby World Cup. For 1 month. I flew there first class. I stayed in a 7-star hotel for 1 month. Now, because it's no longer my own money, and I must follow the rules. If the rule says I must fly economy class, I shall fly economy class. So I wanted to just get that out of the way. All the media that's here, we can still talk about if you have any further questions about the trip. But don't say I went for a joyride. And don't compare me to Mama Joy. I am not a super fan. I'm the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture.
And Gayton clapped back to EFF. Surprised that where did they get such a figure of 1.8? Because he, as Gayton McKenzie, only spent 800,000 rand. Not only that, but Gayton McKenzie went all the way and brought his spreadsheet and splashed it all over the internet for everyone to see. Now you see where I'm going with this? If EFF doesn't bring their evidence of 1.8 figure by figure as to how did they get to that 1.8 and how that amount was being spent for, they are in trouble again. And no one is going to believe them. Can you imagine what that is going to do to their credibility again? Consider they did the same thing to Naledi Pandor, accusing her of being involved on VBS, and they had no evidence to back up their statements. You remember this?
Lady Pandor was also in the VBS bond or something, which she was there. They are your darlings. You will never know their names. You know the names of those you don't like to demonstrate there's no principle.
And then on Mamana Lady Shemai, I was making a political engagement in that interview. It's a political speech. It's a political speak. And I raised her name, and she clarified those things, that she has never been involved in those things and all of that. And she wrote a letter to me to ask for instruction and all of that. And I said, look, it's a political engagement. I respect you so much, and I've accepted the explanation you have given, and I don't intend to pursue that line, because now there is more clarity on what really transpired.
Can you imagine what that's going to do on their credibility as a party? Not at a time when they are on their back foot like they are currently.
The president approved my travel. What is the problem of the EFF? The problem with the EFF is because they are not the minister. I am living what they've been fighting for so long. They were insulting me, called me a bandit. Now they must say honorable. It is hurtful, I understand. And that hurt sometimes find expression in nonsensical answers that they talk about me or questions. I do believe that the cost was put up by the demand of cars in the Olympics, the demand of hotels. I went on my own cost cutting. My children went to Dubai September last year. Go check which hotel they stayed at. Go check which hotel my kids stayed at. Go check what we flew going there. Then you'll understand this excitement you're talking about. I'm not excited for perks. This is a downgrade for me. I am not this minister that will be told blue lights excite me. When we got new cars as a minister, and you guys will make accusations, but you won't be answered. When you put me in a BMW or in a Mercedes-Benz, I jumped at the union buildings or where I got my car. I jumped out of a more expensive personal car to go into the government car. So I can't be excited. I'm here because this is a labor of love for me. That's what excites me, that I can change people's lives. It's true, I'm excited to be a minister because I've got the power now. I fought. I walked in the rain. People walked in the snow, in the storms for me to be a minister. The PA people fought very hard for me to be there. I'm excited. Imagine the people that was voting for me that walked so that their lives can become better, and then when they got the opportunity to go into the GNU, the leader said, Harifuni GNU. No, I can't do that to people. People wanted me to get power. I now have power to change lives. So this thing of exciting, I want to kill it right here. I have never booked my own flights. I have people booking my flights. This thing of ministers, I have to now behave within the material handbook. I asked the ADG, what is the material handbook saying? She says you can't do that. I was flying to Cape Town, my first flight. I was sitting in economy class because the ADG told me the material handbook wants me to fly economy class. And I found other ministers sitting in business class. And I went to peace. I said, why are me and you sitting in economy class? The other ministers said there. She said, no, it is their miles. They've been ministers for long, so they accumulated miles, and they're using their miles. I said, oh, okay. So I'm not excited, number one, for these things that they think is perks, staying in a hotel. It's my first time being abroad, staying in a hotel that's not 5-star. I'm not excited for those things. I'm not, even this car they got me, that Mercedes, I will never drive that car here at home in my own life. So I'm not excited for those.
Just as Gayton McKenzie have said, I think EFF has chosen a wrong minister to go after. Gayton McKenzie knows his story. and he's gonna bury them alive. Sinawa Tambo, the EFF spokesperson, needs to be very careful how he sells EFF currently. He needs to be very careful how he thread currently. He needs to be very careful what he says with his mouth, because with his mouth, he can either sink EFF boat even further, or he can turn things around where EFF is concerned and ignite hope on your EFF supporters. But he doesn't seem he understands that. This thing of him attacking ministers, especially going after Gayton McKenzie, it's not going to do EFF good. Instead, it's going to sink EFF even deeper. And EFF is going to continue to decline. Because Gayton McKenzie is not like ANC ministers. Right now, EFF should focus on igniting hope to South Africans. I don't think that filing a complaint to the public protector is going to do them any good. It is so foolish of Sinawa Tambo to think that by filing a complaint to the public protector is going to do them any good. My opinion, I think it's going to sink EFF even further, and they will lose credibility even more. As I said before, no one is going to bring down EFF but EFF itself and its leader. What do you think? Let me hear your comment below, and of course, don't forget to subscribe and like if you're coming for the first time.